We have a question. On page 4, there's a
Space Murder Mystery Luncheon, December 17th, 1920.
Hello, this is the phone assistant. The party you have called.
There's what? There is.
Hello, this is the phone assistant.
See, and that's me at home. If I'm sitting on the side of the bed, like for 2 days, my Jenny, I'm trying to get her paws under my feet. I can feel her. Stuff her midriff on my thigh. Her nails are rotten Henry part. That's right. Henry's nails are sharp.
Scott, you want to be the winner because the winner gets the next year.
Put on next year.
Okay, we're here.
I can't believe it. Here's the proof that your wife took and sabotaged my daughter's dreams. She wanted to represent the United States at the Olympics this year. She's depressed about her injuries, and now she can no longer fulfill her Olympic dream.
But how did you know it was Valencia who dropped the diamond?
The vet at the stables dug that diamond out of Preston's hoof. Then I had the certification number run at Fred Meyer Jewelers. It took a while, but I got the results just last week and found out that it belonged to Valencia. You know, if you wanted to just lose the thing and collect the insurance, couldn't you have just thrown it in the river instead of into Preston's stall?
I do remember that she received a check from the insurance company a few months ago for $10,000. All I can say is I'm sorry about Kate's misfortune, Mike. I hope this will not interfere with our work contract.
Welcome, esteemed conference attendees. I'm proud to introduce our fearless leader and first speaker, the president of the Kroger Grocery and Baking Company, Bernard Kroger.
Thank you, Elizabeth. The Kroger Grocery and Baking Company, together with the City of Cincinnati and the Mean and Evil Orange Company, welcome you to this Executive Leadership Conference. This is a chance for market leaders to get away from daily challenges to focus briefly on longer-term goals. There is also a small trade show running concurrently to showcase the latest products and services available to the grocery industry. This year's conference theme is Connecting Today to Grow Tomorrow. The event promises innovative topics and insights from the scheduled speakers. We hold a trusted position at the heart of the community.
Hey, wait! I'm so sorry to interrupt the meeting. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I'm so sorry to interrupt. But there was a bludgeoned body found at 5 this morning out in the hall by T.J. Phillips. Some of you may have noticed the police tape when you came in. Unfortunately, all of you are suspects. And we cannot leave until we know who the murderer is. I hope not to interfere with the conference agenda too much, but we must find the killer. I expect all of you to listen carefully and cooperate in my detective work. We have informed Mr. Meanevel of the death and his wife a few minutes ago, and I see that he is here with us now. I've asked him, and I'm asking you to remain in this room for the remainder of the investigation. Can anyone tell me who those closest are to Valencia?
Well, I think it's Russ is the #1 suspect. I mean, isn't it always the closest family members that do it? I mean, just look at his tears. Those aren't real.
I saw Citrus and Valencia Friday afternoon in the Kroger building. They were having a heated argument. I don't know what they were arguing about, but I could hear yelling and screaming.
Well, one of Val's closest friends is Tony.
Oh, shoot.
And she couldn't stop talking to me about her trip to California to speak to Val's fancy garden club about her new plant enhancement formula. They have been thick as thieves for 3 years now. She told me just last week that she was really looking forward to receiving her letter from the patent office for the formula that would make her a millionaire.
Oh, yes.
Veronica, shh.
Well, I know that Amy is Valencia's best friend, and by how much she visits the groves and estates claiming to be doing research on their labor metrics. I saw Amy and Russ having lunch together on Wednesday, and they appeared to be discussing something intimately. They had their heads together and were smiling and had to have at least 3 glasses of orange wine.
And I ran into Amy at the jewelry store looking at a very large engagement ring. She seems to be wearing a lot more jewelry since she's been making those trips to the Meanvilles in California.
Cindy and I always plan a golf outing with Valencia when she was in town. When Cindy found out that Valencia was coming to town this time, she refused to go golfing with us because of the unfortunate event last year.
Yes, well, Valencia did not yell "or," and I ended up in the hospital with multiple broken shoelaces and had to have 2 surgeries to get everything straightened out. Roger here was blind to her attack on me because he was too focused on his son's Meanevel golf course land deal. Anyone whose name is on the transportation log from the Sunday Night Symphony outing had access to the building and to the victim on the night of the murder. Starting at the beginning of the list, we have Elizabeth and Brett Farrell.
Yes, Brett and I got here early. We waited in the lobby for the other people to arrive. We never even ran into Valencia that evening.
Oh, come on, Elizabeth. You're not going to clear your name so easily. Everyone knows that Brett and Val have a thing going on between them. If everyone else knows about it, then I'm sure you have heard about it by now. That certainly gives you a motive to kill Val.
You should be the one to talk. With you always taking trips to California with Russ, you once told me that Russ said that if Val wasn't in the picture, he would shower you with jewelry. And with your love of jewelry, no wonder you wanted Val dead.
All right, ladies, that's enough. I need to continue with my investigation. It looks like Roger Embry is next on the list. Roger, what do you remember about that night?
I remember seeing Val that night. I recall her mingling with the crowd prior to the bus leaving for the concert. I just assumed she got on the bus with the rest of us.
And Mrs. Holmes just said that you had a history with the victim. Could you elaborate?
Well, yes, we have a bit of an unpleasant history. My son's a pro golfer and signed a contract about a year ago, and a group of investors wanted to open up a golf course. They wanted him to do the design, and they were going to name it after him as part owner. Val's family owned the land the course was supposed to be built on. When Val found out about the project, she tripled the price of the land, and as a result, the project fell through. My son was devastated.
Well, it certainly sounds like your anger towards Miss Mabel gives you a motive.
Obviously, I was very upset over the situation, but I would never commit murder, not even if Dodeca were down.
That's the wrong part, Scott.
I lost all credibility.
We'll see about that. Let's continue down the list.
I'm next on the list, so let's cut to the chase. I saw Val last night. I kept my distance because, quite frankly, I'm disgusted with her. She was running a marketing campaign trying to garnish beer with slices of oranges. I'm sorry, but oranges mixed with beer is just nasty. It's an outrage. But while this may tick me off, I certainly wouldn't want to kill her on.
Well, it looks like I'm next. I admit I had a little run-in with Valencia last night. What an awful woman. She actually tried to blackmail me. Me, of all people.
You must have had some good dirt on you to try blackmailing.
Well, I own a beautiful piece of land, let's face it, and it's half of Hutchinson, Kansas. I'm trying to sell that land to a real estate developer. Valencia caught wind of this and saw an opportunity to blackmail me.
What's wrong with selling some land out in Hutch?
Hutch has a problem with natural gas pits below the ground. My piece of land is no exception. The ground can get a little unstable at times.
By unstable, do you mean it could blow up?
Those are your words, not mine. But for the most part, yeah. Val threatened to release this knowledge to the press if I didn't pay her a healthy sum of money. But no matter how hard she pushed, I wouldn't give in. Nobody messes with Ray Dillon Sr.
Threats of blackmail would certainly qualify as a motive for murder.
Maybe so, but it isn't the first time someone has tried to put me in a compromising position. And I have yet to kill anyone over it.
I think we may need to come back to that later. All right, let's continue. Mr. Grubmeyer, you're next. Where were you last night, and how do you know the victim?
No, I never actually saw Val last night, which was a good thing.
Yeah, because you hate her. I heard you talking to someone in the office about how she poisoned your son's soccer team.
Yeah, I'm still tipped off about that. My son's Adam team, which I coach, made it all the way to the World Championship game to defend our title. And to congratulate them, Val decides to send a batch of oranges. Well, those oranges made my kids sick, and put a couple of them in the hospital. Needless to say, they couldn't play in the finals, and we had to forfeit that game.
Sounds like an awfully good motive to me.
Well, I hope. She wouldn't have sent those intentionally to a bunch of kids, but the more I hear about her, the woman, the more I wonder.
All right, I believe I'm next on the list, so let's get this over with. I did see Val running around the crowd prior to the bus leaving for the concert last night. She was running her mouth as usual about her privileged upbringing. I intentionally stayed away from her because I don't deal well with cheaters.
Care to elaborate on what you mean by cheaters?
Sure, I'll elaborate for you. Earlier this year, I entered the big drag race competition to defend the title I won last year. One of my competitors was Russ over there. I go for my first run of the night, and bam, the engine blows. My mechanic tells me later that there were traces of orange juice in the gas tank. I just know it was Val that put the orange juice in the gas tank because she wanted Russ to win. The whole thing cost me 20,000 big ones, and Ford decided they no longer wanted to sponsor me.
You appear pretty upset about the situation, and for good reason. Although somehow I think you just proved yourself to be a prime suspect.
Oh, come on now. This happened months ago. If I was going to kill her, why would I have waited now until now to do so?
Okay, Joseph. Let's continue. Carol, you're next. When was the last time you saw the victim?
I did see Val last night before the concert.
Yeah, I saw you yelling at Val from across the room. What was it all about?
Well, I was... Well, I was chatting with Val and a few other people before the bus arrived. When Val reached into her purse, a picture of my dog, Penny, fell out along with a picture of some other dog called Cleopatra. When I bent down to pick them up, she snatched them away from me. I questioned her about the pictures, and she just blew me off. So I started yelling at her. You see, my dog Penny was my dog Penny was dog man about a year ago. Someone grabbed her out of my yard and made off with her. That dog, Cleopatra, sure looked an awful lot like my baby Penny.
We all know how much you love your dogs. I'll bet you would be willing to kill someone if they mess with them.
What about you, Locke? I heard about what Val did to you when you entered the dancing with the stars competition. Ooh.
I wasn't there when this went down. What happened?
Lancey greased the bottoms of his shoes before the competition. He was slipping and sliding all over the place and took a nasty fall.
Oh, my knee. What evil witch. It's true. She did grease my shoes. Wow, wanted me to represent the company with a competition, but my loyalty lies with Koger. She was very angry with me for turning her down and went so far as to grease my dancing shoes. The fall I took during the competition put me in the hospital, even needed surgery. They say I'll never be able to dance again.
That's a shame, Locke. I heard that you could really cut a rug.
I'm sure Locke would like some sweet revenge on Val for what she did to him.
All right, Roger, that's enough. I'm running the show here. Let's get back to a list of attendees. Glenn, you're on the list next. What's your story?
I didn't see Val the night of the concert. I was running late as my horse broke down, and I can't afford one of those newfangled motor cars. I made it just in time to get on the bus before it left. If I would have run into Val, I certainly would have had some choice words for her. The lady sabotaged my beloved restaurant, Glenn's Glen. I poured my heart and soul into my business, and she ended it all earlier this year with a bad batch of oranges.
Hey, was that in March of last year? I think my uncle's grocery store got the same bad batch from Medieval Orange Company.
Yes, it was. I think it was the same batch that made Fred Grubmeyer's soccer team sick. But in my case, it actually caused one of my customers to die. And now I'm facing a lawsuit, and the Board of Health shut my restaurant down. Oh, the agony. Now I'm broke as a joke, and I have no friends.
I hear you, friend. My uncle's facing the solicitor as well as my inheritance from the Money House Food Shop fortune is worthless now due to those bloody poison oranges.
Okay, Glenn and Kurt, let's check the drama at the door. I'm next on the list, so let's get it over with. Yes, I saw Val the evening of the concert, and no, I didn't talk to her. She has invaded my space one too many times, and I've had it with her. I told her not to touch my pregnant belly on multiple occasions, but she refuses to listen. The last time she did, I smacked her hand away and stormed off.
Katie doesn't really like people invading her space.
But she's only trying to protect the S-Space baby.
Well, whatever you call it, I call it motive.
But I had the same problem with Val. She was obsessed with my belly and then kept just dropping by my house to visit my newborn Alexander. She always came unannounced and seemed disappointed to never find my children unattended. I even considered her a shredding order. She gave me such a creepy vibe.
Okay, ladies, I think we need to get to the last person on the list, and who I think is the prime suspect, the husband of the victim, Citrus, or as we know him, Russ Medieval.
Mean.
I don't know why you're singling me out, Kurt. What reason would I have for killing my wife?
I think we have heard it best from Elizabeth earlier. You and Amy have a thing for each other, and the only obstacle preventing you from being together was Val.
Well, I admit things have been difficult lately between me and Val. We have been spending more and more time apart, but I was learning to cope with it. When I found out about Brett and Val, our marriage deteriorated. I thought if she was going to find someone new, then so would I. I may have done some questionable things, but I did not kill my wife.
All right, Mr. Minnie. Try to calm down. You can be sure I'll get to the bottom of this. Now that I've talked to everyone from the concert, I need to speak to everyone else.
Pardon me, officer, but that list only shows who might have been in the building lobby or who may have gotten on the bus. For those who had actual access to the building, you should look at the Kroger building, sign and register. I will have last night's register brought to you.
Okay, as a reminder, folks, feel free to come back up and fill your plates. It's not, let's not hash this out on an empty stomach. Come and get it. Take about 10 minutes break.
That went faster than I thought you guys would do. You guys are silly.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Like we practiced.
Show me the puppy.
Goes in order.
I don't think he's not okay.
Dessert.
Drive to go through the other door. There's no doors to go through.
Oh, and I want to remind you that we want everybody to have a
Printing this for companies. I got it first. I think it was him. Oh, they're married. Oh, I cannot believe that. But then you don't know what I mean to say it. Being in Valencia, Elizabeth, I think you're doing a great job. You are. She's the tape outside.
You have a much smaller speaking part.
There's little red pieces of tape. I'm like, why are there red pieces of tape? I think there's a gunshot. Go black out there, gunshot.
That's why I said, oh, I am. That's what I realized that it's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need a sign that says it's emergency.
Oh, it's
Somebody stop, somebody stop.
Oh, yeah, Mom brought weird decorations.
Get the glass.
Everybody gets
She put a lot of enthusiasm in hard.
I know, that's true. That's just what
I know, right? I'm thinking
That works really well.
Carol, you're telling somebody that I wrote gave me his behind the bar.
You already have a guess? Yes.
Or I'll just keep jabbing it in the whole time.
You know.
Even if I just say
Real what? Well, and actually, I wrote it specifically to give you
I don't know what the other objective.
She didn't share
You already told me your guess. Bitty bee.
He stole my idea. He just wanted to get it over me.
No, I don't. She's getting
I mean, it's at the right
How do you do this? It's on the last
I'm like, when I still have I know.
How did he grow that
Everybody says great, yeah. I got it right.
We went to I need to go back.
Just take the whole thing. There's not that much left in there.
He wasn't world champion. What a joke.
Oh,
Is that your seat?
yeah, that was a little bit of time. Was that Microsoft? Or something like that, Microsoft photo.
Yeah.
Software.
That was cute.
Yeah. I was successful.
Yeah, that's what made me not gonna
We are good getting in the crown, gold rookie necklace.
We couldn't agree. My wife wanted nothing to do with that.
See, she's my baby. She's my baby. Jenny's Penny, baby.
I said, no, call her Penny. And then we'll figure out how she spells it. She meant she did. So I have, she's not exactly the way I thought it would.
Yes. Oh, right there. Yeah, we're right under it, James.
You can just spell however you want.
Pinky in the brain. Who's that? Who's being nice break? I really don't care. I'm thinking about Dot. That's what we got. Well, you got Joe with Pinky in the brain. When they came out, it was about maniacs. And I think the first thing got it. So we always try to last one.
That's the name.
The brain ski.
When you took my picture, was it? Have to be filled out to be able I know my name. That count?
We're doing it?
introduce our next set of speakers, Mr. Ray Dillon Sr. from Dillon Cash Stores in Hutchinson, Kansas, and Frederick Krebmeyer from Portland, Oregon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I plan to help you revolutionize your cash flow. It is the concept of cash and carry instead of extending credit as a business model. Fred?
I will be introducing the concept of the one-stop shopping experience. Imagine all of your small local grocery, clothing, health and beauty, and jewelry stores all under one roof. Now that I have your attention, Ray, why don't you get us started?
Gentlemen, I'm very sorry to interrupt again. But we have some new evidence, and we know for sure now that the murderer must be in this room. We have found the victim's handbag.
Does that have wages in it?
It looks like she's been taken away. You can probably sit down.
Well, apparently I have a royal.
Oh my.
Oh my, officer. This appears to belong to you. How does it feel to be one of us? A suspect yourself?
I am an officer of the law and above suspicion. I have a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. I was called to the building Saturday night after several of your esteemed conference participants had gone to an illegal speakeasy bourbon tasting and were out of sorts and fighting.
Oh yes, Steve, we believe it.
Where's it, Steve?
We were just having fun.
What a strange definition of fun. The victim was fighting with that gentleman. When I arrived to answer a disturbance call, when I broke up the struggle, Val grabbed for my weapon and it went off.
Sorry, I know you're speaking.
Yeah. When I broke up the struggle, Val grabbed for my weapon and it went off. When the crime scene team arrived, I left my weapon. I left my weapon for them as is protocol. Val must have stolen it and put it in her purse. I admit I was angry that my supervisor would not bring charges against this mean and evil because of how much dirt that woman had on some of our powerful leaders. But I did not kill her. I think Mr. Zabrowski should answer for the source of their altercation.
I'm innocent, I tell you, that's not my name. Well, I have a fantastic motive. It's just too bad I'm such a pacifist. Here's the story. Picture this. 5 years of passionate blending of flavors and to find just the right mixture, then 10 years of patient aging, all to culminate in a premier bourbon tasting event on Saturday. When all of our judges spit my precious concoction out at the same time, I knew there was foul play.
Yes, I saw Val dumping bitters into one of the bourbons. I just did not know which one. I told Steve since he organized the event.
After that, I turned to forget, and then I found myself back at the office where I confronted her. She had the nerve to laugh. And I'm not surprised that she was the victim of violence, but it was not me. I am more interested in how those gunshot shells got in her purse.
I guess it's my turn. I met Valencia Friday at the Grand National Skeet Shoot. I brought my grandpappy's 16-gauge shotgun, the truest shot in these parts. True shot. I have won that trophy for 3 years running. I was next to Citrus in the competition. Val was Russ's loader. When my loader TJ took a break, Val volunteered to help. I wish I had heard all of these terrible stories about her before I trusted her with my prized weapon. She loaded 20-gauge explosive shells, and when I fired, it blew up in my face, destroying the beautiful shotgun and sending me to the hospital. She must have picked up the spent shells. Why didn't you warn me, TJ?
You were muttering something about her being an awful human being.
I'm so sorry, Allison. I should have told you about the great coupon scandal of 1919. Valencia flooded the market with the orange coupons. When I submitted them to her for reimbursement, she claimed they were expired. They clearly had no expiration date. I submitted them to her again, and this time she said they were delinquent, and she wouldn't pay. We took a bath in those coupons. I tried to bring it to Russ's attention, but she kept getting in my way. We are still carrying the receivable to this day. Can you imagine? I think I'll just have to take the hit, EBITDA, and eat it. My poor EPS.
I can't follow that up.
TJ, look, man, I'm so very sorry. I wish but I only known. I would say that I would make it right, but alas, I no longer own the mean and evil Orange Company. You should all know that my dearly departed father-in-law, Orange Grover Mean and Evil, so desperately wanted a grandchild heir that when we could not produce one for him, he rewrote his will. Upon Valencia's death, all of our assets will only go to our largest customers. They were informed of the change only last week.
Who might own the payable then?
That would be equal shares to Bernard Kroger, Fred Grubmeyer, Ray Dillon Sr., and Moneyhoff Food Shops. If they weren't millionaires before, they certainly are now.
TJ, you will get your orange money. There will be no earnings adjustment on my watch. And I guess you all know why there was no love lost between me and Mrs. Mean Evil. But I will detail it for the officer, so she can clearly see I have nothing to hide. When confidently showing Val the analytic power of the new knowledge portal, she entered a runaway query with too many arguments in their neck. The man on the phone, Randy, said she took down something called a database, and the knowledge portal did not function for days. Randy was quite irate and said it cost me thousands of dollars. It seemed to me she was just playing with the powerful tool. She had the nerve to laugh at the man on the phone when he got mad. She was not welcome in my office after that.
I can see why some of you would hate Valencia, but I am not sure that is enough for a motive for murder. Mr. Kroger, you are a wealthy man. The Mean and Evil fortune is not going to move your portfolio more than a few basis points.
I think we need to take a break from this horrible nightmare. Let's take 10 minutes.
Enough break. The last break. I was fast. You guys are thinking really fast.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Mr. Kroger, 2012.
Can you hear very well?
Yeah, am I in this picture?
Elizabeth?
It's always alcohol related. Like to encourage you don't eat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the first ballot.
First ballot?
This is early.
Wow. Hey, don't have competitive.
Well, they read it.
So page 10 it says,
Who was reading ahead?
No way.
TJ's got blood on his show.
I'm using my gun.
Oh, the travesty, the travesty.
Did we start? Huh?
You want to start all over? All right, back to page 1. Everyone. Do I have to?
Why don't we go ahead?
Keep going.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
We're, okay. No, you want to? Yeah.
All right. Since the show must go on, I am very excited to introduce our next speaker, Elizabeth Farrell, the Manager of Analytics Technology and the Knowledge Portal.
I actually can't go to the podium because I need to run it.
What do you need to do?
Huh? I don't have a slide. Thank you, Mr. Kroger. First, let me introduce you to the voice on the phone. We only know him as Randy. Say hello, Randy.
Hello.
Hello, Randy. Are you reading your part, Randy?
Sure. I said hello.
Hello, Randy.
Hello, Randy.
You didn't say hello, Randy.
I know. That's okay. Okay. What I'm about to tell you cannot leave this room. Randy is speaking to us from the year 2012.
Hello, Kroger 1920. I am here to process your data with 2012 technology. This has kept Kroger successful for the last 92 years. The advanced, predictive analytics of our time will ensure your viability. Since I am myself an employee of Kroger, I am vested in your success. Don't trouble your brain too much with this paradox this creates. We have already run it through the S-Base, and all I can say is it works. I have also started entering all the data on the murder into the Dodeca and S-Base. Once all the evidence is in, it will be able to forecast the identity of the killer.
In the interest of time and to catch a killer, I will skip over a few of these slides. They'll be available later if you'd like. First one is, what is S-Base? What is multi-regional? How do you guys know this? Why use S-Base? Powerful calculation engine. Integration of data sources. I do want to say that, in case you guys didn't know, that Dodeca doesn't just read out of S-Base. It can also read out of business objects databases or any relational databases. We've been testing it reading out of some SQL databases, so keep us in mind for all your future database needs.
Commercial.
I know. Find new ways to visualize data.
I've never seen
Our job is to help you make decisions. The faster you can look at a dashboard or report and digest the data, the better. A report should make it very obvious what it's trying to communicate. Here's an example of a heat map. Green is good and red is bad. Easy. Next we have our Dodeca, your spreadsheet management system. I had to change some of these words from like email and stuff. So stop sending broken spreadsheets every period. Stop filling up the storage and mailboxes with hundreds of versions of the same spreadsheet. Standardize all of your columns and rows for a better presentation that is easily adopted and understood. Keep a centralized location for all analytical tools for simplified training in one version of the truth.
I hate to interrupt again, but we have a murder to solve here. We need to review the rest of the contents of Val's purse.
Yes.
It should be in the purse.
Oh, in the purse?
It's cold enough.
There it is.
Well, this certainly looks like an angry note, all written in red from the Money Hop Food Shop. Let me read it for the group. Val, this is the third shipment of bruised and rotten oranges. I am losing all of my customers, and one is threatening legal action. This is the final straw.
Hold on. I saw my uncle write that note in the heat of the moment. She had been shipping Grove seconds to Money Hop Food Shops for months. Dylan, Brewmeyer, and Kroger get all the choice produce, and my uncle gets the scraps. Once the poison oranges hit, Money Hop Food Shops were all but done. But I'm very happy to be back in the grocery business working for Kroger. No hard feelings here. But all the beautiful fruit she has been shipping since seems like quite a coincidence to me. She had trouble meeting quotas before.
Those beautiful oranges are all because of me! I just got my denial of patent letter last week. Can you imagine the nerve of someone? I called a friend. The plant enhancement formula was going to set me up for life. I presented the formula to Val's Garden Club, and it was patented by the medieval Orange Company 1 week before my submission, effectively voiding mine.
I guess we will be looking for Tony's name on that register when he gets here.
Back to her purse contents. Wasn't there a fat check in there as well?
That was supposed to be mine.
We already heard your sob story. My baby Penny's picture was in there too. Who do I talk to about getting Cleopatra, aka Penny, from the estate?
My dear friend's body isn't even cold, and you want her prize show dog?
That prize show dog is my family Penny, and I think I saw a nasty note in her purse as well, Miss Amy.
I wonder who wrote this. It says you need to stay away from my husband or suffer deadly consequences.
That is definitely Val's handwriting.
Well, if it is from Val, we certainly know who it is to.
Russ is the love of my life, and I am not going to defend my heart's desire. Stop pointing fingers at me. I know you hated Val too. You did not sound particularly good at last night's symphony. Could it be that you are less talented, Miss High and Mighty concert clarinetist, without your precious Stradivarius clarinet?
It is true that there was that only one Stradivarius clarinet ever made, and it is lesser known than his violins. Val came backstage last year like she owned the place, and I confronted her about the poison oranges and delinquent coupon payments on behalf of all of my friends. She grabbed my precious and smashed it against the wall. She was a foul human being, and I am not afraid to say it.
Michelle, you are a true friend. I heard from several people that you sounded great last night. I am so sorry to have missed it. I think the events of the last year are finally coming together in my mind.
I think she put it together last night.
After the garden club's speaking engagement, Val kept acting like she was mildly interested in taking up flower gardening as a hobby. She would visit and discuss my formula, but had the wrong distribution of the ingredients, so I helped her fix it. I know the first version she showed me would be poison. That must have been the test batch she sent to Kurt, Fred, and Glenn. Boy, she could pinch a penny.
I know she pinched my penny.
Okay. She may have pinched your penny, but she pinched my husband.
And my inheritance.
My daughter's Olympic medal. My race winnings.
My entrepreneurial dreams.
My bourbon title.
My personal space.
My beard.
My son's golf fame.
My lucrative land deal.
My son's world soccer title.
My poor Eva won't somebody think of the Eva dog?
My peace of mind.
My ski child.
My Stradivarius.
My summer of golf.
My patent at millions in royalties.
Sit down, everyone! Sounds like you all have great reasons to want your mean and evil dead. But let's get to the bottom of this. I now have the building register and some details from the coroner.
Okay, as a reminder, you can turn your ballots in to any S-based team member at any time. The earliest correct entry will win. Let's take a moment to fill in your vote for Best Actor and Best Costume and any comments or feedback you have regarding the event. So we're getting close to the end, guys.
Anybody else have ballots? Don't need to do it yet. We're just getting ready, so it's ready to fill in. But I'm surprised there's so many turns. Okay. Scott's gonna write down some time to wait for people to turn
Okay, officer?
Is everybody done writing? Oh. You don't have to turn them in yet. We're just saying fill out the other parts. Does everybody understand that you do not have to turn it in yet? Okay.
Have enough evidence here?
Appreciate that.
Do you have to list your reason for suspicion, Elizabeth?
Pardon?
Do you have to list your reason for suspicion, or can you just write something? Or
It'd be
to
nice
count?
if you had that.
Yeah.
That'll break a tie.
Okay.
And you will have to defend your answer to it, whoever wins. Okay.
It seems that
Officer?
It seems that Mrs. Bean and Eagle was bludgeoned with a heavy object between midnight and 4 a.m. We also found some skin under her nails. Let's examine the building register.
Oh. Where am I? Oh, it looks like Veronica left before the murder.
And TJ arrived after the murder, only to discover the body.
Well, I'm just gonna say it. I know he's the boss and all, but Mr. Kroger was here during that murder window.
I had to prepare for my speech. I never even saw her last night. Besides, I was on the phone with Kathy Moneycall from midnight to morning, dictating my speech. Just ask her.
Bet I will.
Amy, did you arrive with Val? That seems suspicious.
I had some late arriving labor stats that just had to be added to the knowledge portal. Val just needed a ride so she could set up for the conference. Everyone knew she would be back here to finish the preparations.
I can confirm that Amy Edwards' ID was logged into Dodeca from midnight to 2.
It seems that Kurt and Tony arrived together, and we know they wanted her dead.
I
I never saw Tony on the 7th floor, even though she was marked in that.
We quit saying bad things about it. After I dropped off the candlesticks for the conference, I stopped by my desk and somehow tossed some massive paper in the way. I was about for 20 minutes before Val rescued me. She said she was going to talk to Kurt about his rumor spreading. Yeah, quit spreading rumors, Kurt.
Mike, what brought you to the office so early? And what time do you have to leave from Columbus to get to Cincinnati in that Honda horse and buggy?
I didn't want to miss my chance to confront Fletcher about destroying Preston and Kate's careers. You could tell from my outburst this morning that I had no idea she was dead.
Or was it a clever ruse to throw us all off?
I'll remember that, Steve.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was doing that. You go ahead.
At this time, please turn in the rest of the ballots.
Anybody else?
So these are, can everybody read that, or do I need to read those off for you before you fill them out?
So we had,
Did they have to be one of those people?
Or TJ.
Sorry.
yes, they had to have had access to the building.
Mine's the winner.
That's why we did it before, we had, this narrows it down pretty far, right? So,
There's Barney, well, Veronica she left before the murder window. Barney Kroger was here, Val was here. Obviously, Amy, Kurt, Tony, Mike,
and then TJ got here after the murder window.
What's the
and
murder
found
window?
Barb.
What's the murder window?
When she said the murder window was midnight to 4 a.m. Any more ballots?
Those registered things are so ridiculous.
Now we know why they exist, though.
I was asking the other guys, why do you need to sign these
They
things?
let me have one of their fingers.
I'm surprised you didn't just sign it.
That's not your handwriting? Any more?
But really doesn't anyone know why we have to live around? But it's like, what if
They come and check on the floor, they come by and look at it.
Yeah, but like if I never signed out or in, then how would they know you're even there? Just saying.
It's one of life's mysteries.
Signature is a little ridiculous.
This is why, in case there was a murder.
It's signed law to prove you were there.
And what about the kids that park in the garage and don't even go
I
out?
think she's admitting that she was
I have to sign out.
So that could be anybody in this room based off of your theory.
I still have to
If I
sign
didn't
out.
sign out, then
Yeah.
who knows if my face is still on? He wants to go to work. And let's go to the
Okay, what I'm doing.
That's how they found the parachute jump, at least the guy didn't sign
I
out.
don't know why I have to sign it. And then I go to the like, ma'am, please sign out. Ma'am, please sign out.
Okay. You can turn to the next page, please.
Everyone's in?
Everyone's in. Got
Everyone who had a strong motive to kill Valencia Meaneagle, please stand up.
You got
Everyone?
Is it everyone?
That's your opinion. You think you made it or not together? It should be almost everybody.
I don't think I
It's not.
Okay, everyone who had evidence found against them, please stand up.
Did I have red?
Everyone is.
Anyone who had nothing to gain from her death, please sit down.
Yeah. Well, no, this is.
You did it, Brian.
Sorry, anyone who is not on the building register, please sit down.
There's
Cody. Anyone not in the building during the murder window, please sit down. Was I in the murder window? Or were you in the murder window?
Tony, you were.
Was us too? We were in the murder window?
Definitely.
Yes.
Anyone with a decent alibi, please sit down.
Scott, that's you. Mike, you should
I'm
be
decent.
standing.
Oh. All right. Remaining standing should be.
I have Mike, Tony, and Kurt.
Oh, no.
Anyone who did not pick one of these guys probably didn't win.
Oh, God.
Randy?
The knowledge portal has forecasted the most likely murderer. The heat map report sorted by most likely suspects should be coming through now.
It's printing, Randy. Good gracious.
I'm going to sit down. Let's face it down again. They printed.
This is knocked down. It's Kurt.
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 Don't forget you don't have keys.
Don't make me trip, sir.
You all know she had it coming. None of you will go to her funeral. The world is a better place without it. I'm just happy to do my time. I was going to give you all the money to the charitable tax preparation for the underprivileged anyway.
So show me your memory. And there's blood on the candlestick. Okay.
We know the why. Please tell us the how.
Well, after she came to find me, as Tony mentioned, we argued over the bill of lading and the fact that I haven't been telling anyone and everyone who would listen about my woes. She had the nerve to ask me to stop. I tried to calm down and count to 10. After she left, all I could think about was how likely she was to kill more people in this world with her selfish ways, poison, and lack of humanity. I knew I could do some real good with her inheritance money. I followed her down to the 3rd floor where she was setting up. I grabbed the candlestick. It was the first thing I saw. As I swung, she turned and scratched my arm. I hit her one more time for good measure and the good of all humanity, and booked it out of there. You are all welcome.
Okay, Kurt won. He identified the murderer.
Kurt is only allowed to win if nobody else picks Kurt.
Well, the second person to.
I feel like I had to throw everybody else.
Okay, and I have to go through.
Anybody else want Kurt?
Oh, yeah, 4 other people. 4 other people picked Kurt. Yeah.
How many people picked Kurt?
4. But somebody was the earliest. Now I rearranged them.
I put Tony there. Sorry, Tony.
Randy, thank you very much, by the way.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate your participation from the future. The fog machine is not on because we never got a hold of building security and we were afraid to turn it on. So every time the knowledge portal went off, the fog machine was supposed to go off.
He's the man behind the curtain.
I think Sean.
Sean is the first one. I haven't got
gotten them yet.
Somebody want to come up and help tabulate so I can write the...
Okay, you are the winner of the best costume.
Really?
With TJ and Vanessa.
Well, who is
TJ
second? I'm not
was-
going to find my own thing.
TJ was next.
No big deal. We'll give away two.
Big copy. And best actor, I haven't got tabulated yet.
Trophy. Huh? Well, you want to, I'll just split them. So, once somebody gets, who wants a, who wants a trophy? Who wants some for him? You want a Yes, it can be actually. It sorts on the first column and it puts a total in order.
So, Amy, are you and Russ going to get married now?
I don't know. I don't get my jewelry now.
Just a second.
Have a diamond for you.
So go ahead, Dustin.
Elizabeth, it's right there. Did you guys find it?
Yes, we found it.
Oh.
Threw it. Thanks, Jack.
Oh, he hung up.
It was Brandy.
So,
All right, we just got the results for Best Actor of the night, and the winner is TJ Phillips.
At the Academy. Good people at Men's Warehouse for this wonderful suit. Like apples for
Back door. I wonder. Is the yeah.
Oh, shoot, that's right. And honey, this is for you.
what about mom and dad?
You know, the sound of honey, this is Oh, yeah, didn't move over to the tax department. No, he did.
So Scott's hosting next year?
We should read people's guesses.
Did you read people's comments that they were good? Like the ones that say Scott hit each other?
Yeah.
And the very first person to pick the murderer is Sean Peter.
Elizabeth, you have S-Base
But my gift presentation will be But anyway, so feel free to eat more or take it with you. Please take an orange. They're good for you. They're not poisons. If you have any questions on the script, there's a lot of details behind it that didn't come because I thought it would be too long. You guys were diligent about reading through the whole script. I thought it might take a little longer than that.
I love the way
I think we should all thank Elizabeth.
Yes, you should know that Dustin and Katie helped write it. Obviously, everybody came to you guys working. You guys wrote the motives. So I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. Good job.
Very nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. But we have the room for 1:30, so whatever you need. Or if you have questions, let me know.
He did a good picture. Yeah. Put the crown on it. Yes, it did. Actually, she looked like she was she going to get? I think Val took it. Yeah.
Make my contract.